What's up, home dog? So recently, Jeremy Ethier is back to his science butchering ways with a video titled How to Get a Massive Chest with Only Push-Ups. Parentheses, no equipment.
If you don't think you can grow a big chest by just using push-ups, then I'm about to prove you wrong.
You serious?
Well, I guess we just have different definitions of massive, because I don't really consider this to be a massive chest. I would consider my chest to be mediocre. Okay, not a meaty ogre chest, just
Ready yourself.
just a kind of below average to average chest. And his chest is, well, it's not massive, let's put it that way.
First, let me tell you how we use science to make this routine so effective at growing your chest.
So just because you reference a study, that does not mean you're using science, or at least not using it well, as you'll see in this video.
After 4 weeks, the push-ups group managed to increase their overall upper body strength as much as the group using the bench press did. Other studies that analyze muscle growth show similar results.
And I'll just read from the study itself. There were also no significant differences in muscle thickness, pre-training and post-training in either group. So whether it was the bench press, the push-ups, neither group gained significantly measurable amounts of muscle. Why? Because it wasn't a hypertrophy study. They say themselves, considering the training variables used for this study were designed to increase muscle strength and not hypertrophy, muscle growth. In moderately trained men, this result was not unexpected. So this has nothing to do with getting a massive chest. Okay, so I don't know why he's even using this study in the first place.
We're going to implement this in our routine by having you train 3 times a week with the appropriate push-up variations based on your current level of strength. In addition to this, we'll apply a special method of training to further boost your gains. This method's effectiveness was recently tested on a group of 18 powerlifters.
Okay, so I looked at the study, and first of all, you can't take a study on squat, bench, deadlift and apply it to push-ups. Not how it works. Second, these guys were actually legitimately very strong. Their bench press was almost 3 plates on average, squat about 3.5 plates on average, and their deadlift was about 4.5 plates on average. So these are legitimately very, very strong guys. This type of training does not apply to push-ups. I would consider those numbers to be advanced, so it definitely doesn't apply to beginners or maybe intermediates doing push-ups. Because let's face it, the majority of his audience are beginners. Next, this wasn't actually comparing daily undulating periodization, which is what he's implementing, to a traditional form of training. It was comparing traditional daily undulating periodization to a modified daily undulating periodization. One was hypertrophy strength power, the other was hypertrophy power strength. Furthermore, they didn't even equate the volume. So I would say this study isn't even all that good because they didn't equate volume, which is really freaking important. And it definitely doesn't apply to what he's saying in this video on numerous levels.
The participants trained 3 days per week, with each day using a slightly different style of training. On day 1, they performed an easier workout focused on just getting some skill practice in with their exercises. On day 2, they performed a heavy workout focused on improving their strength. Then, on day 3, they performed a muscular endurance workout focused on improving how many reps they could do in a row. These 3 styles of training challenge their muscles in different ways and proved to be extremely effective.
Okay, so first of all, the footage that he has in the background is obviously not of the actual study. It's just random footage of Chinese weightlifters doing push-ups that he grabbed from the internet. Which is fine, but it's a little bit disingenuous because this is not the actual study that he's talking about. Second of all, this is not their skill day, okay? They're doing this as an accessory lift to improve their Olympic weightlifting. So this is not their skill day. It's more of just an accessory hypertrophy type of movement. Totally different.
Increasing their upper body strength over 3 times as fast as traditional methods.
I have no idea where this claim comes from. In the article, he says it's 2.7 versus 8.7%, but in the study that he linked, there's no mention of that at all. And again, it's not comparing daily undulating periodization to something else. It's comparing 2 forms of daily undulating periodization, and there certainly is not triple the gains or the strength or anything, okay? So I don't know where he gets this from. I would love to find out, but there's nothing in anything that he's linked. Then he goes into the actual setup, which is just needlessly complex. Just way more complicated than it needs to be. For example, if you're in the beginner group and you can do 1 to 10 push-ups, doing 5 sets of 1 rep with just the lowering is just an absurd waste of time. If you can do 10 push-ups in a row, why are you wasting your time doing a 3 to 5 second descent, which is the easiest part, and then ignoring the hard part, which is training closer to failure and training with the concentric? It's really just confusing. Why would he set things up this way? It doesn't make any sense at all. Same thing with the incline push-ups, which is a lot easier than doing it on the flat. If you can do 10 push-ups on the flat, doing 3 sets of 5 to 8 on the incline is going to be an absolute joke. Again, waste of time. Same thing with these hand release push-ups or these one-arm push-ups. A one-arm push-up is typically more triceps than chest. Plus, these hand release push-ups, they're not going to build the chest better than just normal push-ups. For all of this, you're better off just doing 3 to 5 sets to failure or very close to it. It's going to be much more volume. It's going to be closer to failure. It's going to stimulate way more growth. You're not going to get a massive chest. Okay, you're just not going to get a massive chest through body weight push-ups, but it's going to be way better than this garbage. Simpler and better. As for the every minute on the minute, I would say this is not a great way to train for hypertrophy. And this has been shown in the literature with an
Science, bitch.
With an every minute on the minute, you have less than 1 minute to recover. You want to have more recovery. You don't want to be chasing the pump. You want to be chasing performance. You want to be chasing more volume and doing it better, doing quality sets and progressing over time. Ideally, you would be in the gym using actual weight.
Stay big.
If not, you can do weighted push-ups, which are also really good. But don't think you're going to get big doing this kind of body weight stuff. It's just not going to happen unless you're a genetic freak.
This exercise will focus on strengthening these core muscles while integrating your shoulders, your triceps, and your chest muscles as well. To perform it, get into the top of a push-up position.
I mean, that's a fine exercise, but it's useless for chest growth. And usually the core is not the limiting factor when it comes to push-ups. And even if it is, just do more push-ups. Spend your time actually targeting the area that you want to target.
The last exercise will add more volume to your routine while improving your push-ups power by focusing more on the triceps. To perform it, you'll do a standard push-up, but with your hands placed closer together at about shoulder width apart, and take each set to failure, to the point where you can't do any more reps.
So he's finally talking about training to failure, which is good, and it is going to be absolutely necessary if you're using lightweight baby. But if you want a bigger chest, close grip stuff is absolutely not the way. My chest was tiny for many years because I was doing almost exclusively close grip bench press. Okay, train the chest if you want a bigger chest. Just because your triceps are a weakness doesn't mean you should do close grip bench press to get a bigger chest. That's not how the body works. Specificity, baby.
So this routine is a lot of volume for your chest and triceps and should replace all of the chest and triceps exercises that you're currently doing.
Let's be clear. This is not high volume. How far have we fallen where the advanced plan of 3 sets on Monday, 3 sets on Wednesday, and a 5-minute every minute on the minute type of thing on Friday is high volume? That's not high volume, especially as a lot of these sets are going to be nowhere near failure. Okay, so this is not massive chest training, and I can see why his physique is absolutely withering away. If he thinks this is actually hard training, well, it explains a lot.
With the science programs, I've used science and carefully thought out details to construct your weekly program in a way that will maximize your results and caters to your specific body and goal.
He hits all those marketing buzzwords, and if you're a beginner, this sounds just deliciously enticing, but just realize that you're not going to build a massive chest or even just a decent physique from this style of training. You're going to have to train with more volume if you're doing this kind of body weight kind of stuff, and ideally heavier, because no one gets a massive chest with just body weight training. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not ideal. And I want this video to be practical, so if you want to build a big fucking chest, well, there's a video up here, go to the gym. Barbells, dumbbells, cables, machines, all good. And that's going to be much, much more effective than this kind of stuff. train hard, train near failure, and progressively overload. If that's not possible, weighted push-ups or dips. With dips, it's going to be more of a stretch on the pecs. It's going to be lifting near 100% of your body weight, and it's just going to be much more effective in general, especially if you're using full range of motion. Push-ups are good for a beginner, but once you're past the beginner stage, not going to be very effective. Weighted push-ups, however, they make push-ups awesome, and awesome even for advanced athletes. So find a way to load heavier and train them harder. Train them closer to failure with more sets than just 11 per week. And if you're legitimately only stuck with body weight and you have no access to any kind of external loading, elevate your feet, get more range of motion if you can. You can elevate your hands on something and really get a nice deep stretch. And realize that you're going to have to train closer to failure. 50% of max reps, that's a warm-up. That's not a working set. That's not even a warm-up, honestly. So train closer to failure, probably train with more volume as well, and go fucking hard. This kind of stuff sounds enticing, but this is not going to get you results. I'm not going to spend like every week dunking on Ethier, but his over-extrapolations and misinterpretations of the science, it's a regular thing. This is not like one video is wrong. It's like almost half his videos at this point. And you cannot take a study and completely change it to something else. Okay, that's not how science works. And this is not really science, and he's not really science-based. I know that's his thing, but it's not really his thing. It's just marketing. All right, that is all for this video. Like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.